Here's my latest find. Just waltzing along through the Ham's Brewery, I stumbled across this. I have the live footage. I'll show you in a moment of me finding this. But I'll show you some things. So here's the stamp, and Jackson China out of Falls Creek, Pennsylvania, designed by this fella. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on the New York Tea Company that it was sold out of from St. Paul. I found a building that they may have occupied, but no information about this company, just on general searches. But fine china, very, very fine. It's glazed so fine you can see a reflection in it. It's a tea plate, and it's very fine china, and that's all you find in the rubble. I found that at the site of Ham's Brewery, back in the ruins behind the building, behind the facility. And sorry about the focus, but there it is. See the fleur-de-lis on it and such. And by far, that's the nicest piece of china that is here at my household. And this is Fragmentals, and it's all fancy stuff. See all the fancy designs on all the glass. All this would be considered antique rubble, pretty much. Same with this, dating back to roughly it said 1910s, 1930s, so kind of a big period. Didn't really know, they never do. You can always look and see when this fella the designer was making. You might find when he made this piece. I found the same one selling on eBay for $60 a piece in a set. So how are people's fine china getting out in the park, out everywhere, out in the around the city? It's my question, because it's all fancy stuff. These are hexagonal, this is fine glasswork. Not easy to do this stuff here. Sorry about the focus. There. And it's all fancy stuff. You see the designs. It's fine china. Some of it has gold plating on it. It's real gold plating, like that piece there. Here's a date, 1860. And just chunks of melted stuff. You find like glassy stuff, medicine bottles. The texture of that feels so good in the hand to hold that. This is a pint bottle, federal law prohibits sale. This is the same bottle, but the half pint still had the top on it. The metals were such better quality, and they last. This is interesting. Now look at the bottleneck, the texture in the glass. See this honeycomb in the bottleneck here? And look at down here, it's different. All this fancy, very, very advanced type of glass working. And this has been tooled as well by hand. A lot of this stuff has a lot of tooling marks on it. These are like electrical devices I found by the railroad over in my own hometown here. And look at the glass work. See these balls, all this fancy, everything fancy and ornate. Fine china. How are people's fine china getting out in the park? This is porcelain. You can see through it. It's not glass. It's porcelain. And medicine bottles like this and this. This had a gold film on it. I lost it. It had a gold film on it, on the top of it. Porcelain, marble, you name it. And I don't know what this big chunk of graphite thing I found was, but everything fancy. Big chunk of melted stuff there. And you name it. Hilux bottle, that's part of the same bottle. I found it right nearby. Huge fancy bottle. Everything fancy, everything decorated, everything fancy about these folks. Who are these people? Every color of the rainbow. There's purple glass, pink, blues, dark blues, greens, all of it. And all this stuff would be considered antique rubble, and but I question, because we find all this stuff mixed in the damaged ruins. I'll show you where I found this. Wait till you see where this sucker was. And then the bricks, like these. I found this here in my own hometown, out in the suburbs, out of Canton, Ohio. These metro blocks. You can find these around the world, just like the Purringtons. I see these selling on eBay, and these for $20 a piece. And if that's true, then I know where thousands of these suckers are. I'd be rich. I don't know, maybe they are, I don't know. Maybe they are making their money off of those, I don't know. I'd be rich, because I know where thousands of Vikings are. And I saw them selling for $20 a piece, and same with those ones. Ridiculous. $60 this thing sold for. Why are people's fine china, a $60 plate, they can be sold for $60 today? Why is that being found? Well, I'll show you where I found it. But remember these two, look at this. So, English Standard bricks, right? Same thing here, but these ones have really done the dance. There's two of them stacked on top of each other here. There's two of them, and you see the same English Standard They've just done the dance. You see the material, the color of it and such, very glassy looking. And on these bricks, if you remember, you might have seen me, we found this on video, I found this on video in Minneapolis, this Oreo cookie chunk of a wall or post, maybe it was the bottom of a post or something, I don't know. Not a footing, because you can see that these were laid in courses. These were laid in courses, see? They're like little Dutch bricks. And they've turned to like asphalt. And see here, like the bricks are like asphalt. Some of them turn to this glassy stuff like we saw over here. Oops, sorry. Phone's not the best for this. There we go. See the same material there, like glassy looking stuff. You know, around you can see it's very burnt and damaged. The bricks here. And the red material still in there, kind of melted out. Same as this stuff on these two bricks here. You see to the bottom. It was just two. It was just two bricks that have just really done the dance. Same English standard size bricks as all the rest of them. See. So that's those. And we found this too. This was interesting. This was the last remaining brick. I got this on video as well. Some of you may remember it was the last brick. All I saw was this, just the brick part, the red part. I've since power washed it and it's turned yellow, which is interesting. Because all the buildings in Minneapolis and St. Paul, all the X Factor ones are pretty much have popped into this yellow color with a few like polka dotted red bricks still remaining. But they've popped into this color and I found it very interesting when I power washed it. All the red came off pretty much. It was red like this for the most part. And it was yellow underneath. Same with those ones. They were more red and they turned like yellow and gray when I power washed them. And I couldn't find any information on, I'm sure it means Minneapolis or Minnesota, but yeah, this was a retaining block. Didn't expect to pull that out, but I did. So the rest of the wall was already melted into limestone. And we will continue. I'll show you where I found that sucker there. This is where I find the plates, but let me show you something quickly. They give us a circle of life, right? This magic circle of life. Here's the geology over here, the soil and the geology, right? Then you got the plants over here. And then you got the animals and the humans. Then you got the sun and the water. And all of it together form a circle of life. The plants are eating the soil, right? The animals are eating the plants. The sun is going throughout, is shining throughout all of it. And the water is going within all of it. And throughout this whole thing, we have this circle of life, right? So it's hard when somebody says, hey, the geology part here, the soil, they've lied about that. To a degree. They've given us close but no cigar. The chemical makeup, yes, they've given us the truth about that. But how it got there and what it is, no, they're lying about that. And this does not fit. This is not actually so. But people have a hard time with that because they've seen this happen in real life. They come and they've seen this. They can watch it. They can watch it with their own eyes. They can see the soils there, the plants eating off the soils, the animals eating the plants, the sun shining, the drinking of water, the rain falling. They see it all happening. They can see the circle of life happening before their own eyes. So it's hard to say that something isn't so and take something away from that when they've seen it themselves, right? That's one of the issues with this. Because they've given a very close but no cigar representation of what's really there. Because this is actually building debris and rubble, not what they tell us. It's building debris. And we don't know how those buildings got there. They might know, but we don't know for certain. But this is building debris, not geology. What they tell us geology is and all that, and how it forms. That's not what this is. That's not even so. This is building debris, and we don't know how the buildings got here. If they were here, if they got here in an instant, if they're part of the creation or what. But all of this is building debris. Now let's continue. Not a lot of time, so this will be quick. There's a tunnel right here. We've seen it before, but a bit better light right now. But the light's leaving us, so we got not much time. This goes into a structure beneath my feet. And we've been down there before. We didn't go this way. I wouldn't go this way. Some people do, but I wouldn't. That was a repob. Not me. And it's a metal line, like a galvanized metal. And it's lined with a concrete, you see. And it's just a bit sketchy, with holes in it and such on the way down. And it goes into a structure that we've been into in the hollow down there. Now let's get to the melted stuff immediately. This is an artifact that had some machine bit attached to it. Look at the square heads. And look at this. This is 1/4-inch plate steel. It's twisted like a spaghetti noodle. So is this. Like a spaghetti noodle right here, twisted. And this is iron. This is solid iron. Things don't always go our way, right? Look at this. See this thing here? Now this I already had with me, and see. He's at a loss for words. He's at a loss for words, baby, but hang on. Look at what I found here. Barely peeking out right there. Right there. It was down this way. Just a little piece of the rim was sticking up. And I dug down and pulled out fine china, glazed so beautifully that amongst all this sand and grittiness, gritty brickiness, there's not one scratch on this sucker. Not one. Look at the fleur-de-lis. Not one scratch on it. I don't care how old. It's made locally too. No. Fine china. I don't care how old this is even. What gets me is how people's fine china makes it out into the rubble at the site of ruins like this. At the site of ruins, how people's fine china from their houses, from inside their homes, in their cabinets and cupboards, makes it out into the park like this, into the hollow. How does that happen? And this is an antique artifact. I'm not sure when they would say it's from, but who knows? Because I question all of this, all the glass rubble for sure. And because a lot of it is, most of it's antique, at least what they would consider antique. And to me, antique just means old world. Because I find all that antique stuff tossed up in the rubble, this melted, damaged rubble, like this. Look at this here. Let's go with this. Old world rendering. So likely it's rendered over, cement rendered over brick. Here's the rendering lines, usually 8 to 10 inches apart. And the old world stuff, 8. They can vary as well. And this flat painted glass, see, is like God work, perfect. Never a 90 degree on critical edges like this. There's machinery attached to it. Look at this. A 1/4-inch plate steel, twisted like a spaghetti noodle right here, as well as this. Twisted like a spaghetti noodle. Look at this. That's 1/4-inch plate iron, not steel, iron. Square heads. I'm guessing that this piece, see there's a piece right down there like it as well. See flat on top, like a big cube right there. Oh, this one's not so cubey. This one ain't so cubey on this side. What happened here? Now I'm gonna guess that this was a piece just like that over there. And it was just flat and perfect, rendered perfectly like this. I can't believe I just found that. I can't believe I just found this. I mean, are you fucking kidding? So I just wanted to share that. That's what happened. I found just some interesting, and this is common. Other ground researchers, they'll tell you the same. They're finding the same stuff. Mark R. Melted Reality, Curtis 47, Shawnee B. They're finding the same stuff, the same anomalies. Whilst we're out there looking for anomalies, we find other anomalies. Because I don't care when the date. I mean, this dates back to 1910s, to 1930s. That's a pretty big window, and they don't really know. That indicates to me that this could possibly be something else. And you could say, well, you can go by the designer on the back, go by the designer and see when he was, making pieces. But who's to say that somebody wasn't just selling old pieces from an old worlder, whose business was taken over after the event? It's not. I mean, when this stuff is out there in the rubble, I don't know how people's find. And even if this was to be something that was from the era that they estimate, how did it get outside here in the park in the site of ruins, tossed up with the rubble, and why is it always people's fine china, and why is every piece of china fine china as well? It's not just any china, it's fine china, the finest stuff that you can possibly imagine. Is all you find in this rubble, usually broken up in pieces, and so it's a huge anomaly. I don't care what era it really actually comes from. I want to know how and why this stuff is getting out in the park. and only the nicest of nicest things. It indicates really that this may just be all old world stuff. And there's, yeah, a lot more that we need to look into and figure out what the hell happened. It seems like a lot of these companies were already in action and already, and maybe just not, rather than, I think that there was a lot of repurposing happening, but I think there was a lot of just continuance as well of companies, just a lot of continuance, just and repurposing, and selling products that were already made and such, and already on the assembly lines, and what have you. That's just what it looks like to me. It's too strange. This is too common. It's a strange, anomalous thing, but this is not uncommon to be pulling stuff out like this. Out of the top compacted soil. And this is a heavily trafficked area by folks who make this place their home. In the hollow. Heavily trafficked. People are heavily trafficking this area in here to get off trail for a moment and to pitch tent and all different sorts of things. So I love you all. Take care. I'll see you soon.